A wonderful good morning, Aries. Welcome to my channel. Aries, this is your oracle reading for July. I'm a little bit late with the last readings of the zodiac that I still wanted to do. I'm recovering from a very bad throat infection, so I had to take some time off, but I'm here for you now. Aries, as always, I am having here my oracle cards. I'm having here cards with quotes from the ancient Chinese book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which are fantastic for conflict resolution and problem solving. And I have one card that shows a scene from a fairy tale. And this is the card of today. This is the fairy tale of the white doe. I'm going to talk about this at the very end because this is going to sum things up. Okay, so but at the very start, let us have a look at the recent past. This here is going to be the present and this here the future. Okay, so let's get started. Aries, your first card. Okay, the first card for you, Aries, is Triumph of Lies. This is the recent past, as I said already. So Triumph of Lies, what does this mean? Aries, it seems to me that you had to deal with people who were not honest. But there is more to it than this. This is a card of superficiality. This is a card that deals with the surface of things. We stay at the surface, we try to make the best of things, we never go very deep because maybe it would hurt too much. Okay, but in that process of staying on the surface of things and not wanting to look deeper, what happens often, Aries, is that we are stopping to be authentic. And it can also be the case, Aries, that in the recent past, since this is a card that shows that there was an element of superficiality, it could be that you were around people who may have valued only a certain aspect of you, maybe your good looks, maybe your intellect, your charm, your wit, your energy, your passion. Not that these are not worthy things to fuss over, shall we say, but it's like you're so much more than that. And if you had people in your life that were kind of struck by an element of your persona, shall we say, that was remaining at the surface and never really looked at the core of your soul, never really felt the center of your heart, then that is very dangerous, Aries, because it can be very seductive to feel that we're being seen. But if we're being seen for a surface element of who we are, again, not that this is a bad thing, but very quickly it can almost distract us from the feeling of the need to be not just seen, but seen for our beauty or our wit or whatever it may be, but also for who we really are as a person. Okay, if that card refers to a person that was around you, Aries, hold on a moment. This person, okay, I get it now. Aries, there was a person around you that showed you a side of themselves that was maybe not quite real. Maybe a part of it was real, but not everything. So they may have been very attractive or charming or funny or whatever. But the thing is, if they are a superficial person, then they cannot possibly see you with all your depth and all your intensity and passion. If they are themselves superficial, the way they see you is going to stay superficial, and that is not very nice, right? So we want more from our human connections. So now this was the case in the recent past. Let me have a look at the quote from Sun Tzu that belongs to that. that's what the cards look like. I think that's very beautiful. Okay, so Aries, it says, so this is the quote now from the book. Sun Tzu said, "The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin." And on the other side, we find the interpretation of that quote. And here it says, "Better decisions lead to a better life." Every time we set out to solve a problem, we are declaring war on that problem. Our lives are the combined outcome of all the decisions we have made, both important and unimportant, good and bad, conscious and unconscious. Rather than focus on the outcomes of those decisions, we should review how those outcomes came to be to become better decision makers. Okay, Aries, this is very encouraging. It seems to me that in the past, there were occasions and situations where you felt you could have made better choices for your own behalf. Perhaps allowing yourself to not be blinded by the attractiveness, the good looks, the charm of someone, but being willing to look deeper. And I think you wanted to. And maybe if this is now over or close to being over, Aries, maybe you're beating yourself up a little bit because you feel you should have acted differently in certain situations with this person, but please don't beat yourself up. This is a learning process. It would be actually quite unnatural if we went through life and never made any mistakes. Are these mistakes sometimes grave and big? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But that means there are only bigger chances for us to grow as human beings and to gain deeper realizations and insights in ourselves, in human nature, in life itself. So a slightly stoic approach perhaps, but it just comes through to me as this right now. So don't be upset too much over things that you feel you could have maybe done differently. It's not just your decisions only, though. It's not just your decisions that you're wondering about in your past. This is also about the decisions of the other person. I feel this is very much about a romantic relationship here. That's not always the case. The decisions the other person has made. There's just a huge amount of confusion about the question why that person acted a certain way. And the reason why we sometimes can't make any sense of it, Aries, is because some people's minds work in such a complex and unhealthy way that we, with our more balanced approach or being, can't possibly make sense of something that is irrational or illogical. So it is very, very important not to overthink too much. I feel there is more to it, but I feel this is not coming out right now. Let's leave this for now and let's move on. Recent past is this. I understand the card is very creepy, by the way, but lies are ugly, aren't they? So yeah, let's go to your. I'm sorry, this was so dark and gloomy, but anyway, let's go to your present. Okay. Oh, Aries, this is a challenge and a half. This card is called Bride in a Cage. And so, again, a very gloomy card. So here's a bride, and it's actually not a real person, it's a mannequin. And there's the head of a skull instead of a real living human head. So this is interesting. And a bride in a cage. So you see there are no iron bars, but or steel bars, but they are kind of laser bars, like in a museum or something like that, or in a bank or casino or something like that. So here this is, I mean, okay, this is very interesting. Let me have a think about this quickly. Because for some reason, Aries, I don't feel the energy of this is as creepy and dark and hopeless as it may seem. And this is very, very interesting. I feel, honestly, I feel the energy channels opening up right now. And sometimes an energy with a message comes through quite powerfully that is seemingly clashing with the image, but then, you know, it will still make sense if I follow that particular energy and not just go literally word by word by what, you know, the card is described as in the book, for instance. But here, Aries, there's present and past in this card. The bride, you are the bride. Of course, you're the bride. And by the way, that goes for male and female. It doesn't matter, you know, if you're male or female. The cards are energy, right? So it does not mean if there's a bride, a female mannequin wearing a dress on this picture, this does not mean that, you know, you need to be a woman, or that this is only addressed, or only messages only for women. That's not how it works. So this is energy. So this is for you, Aries, whoever you are. But you are, a bride is full of hope and expectation. And a bride is confident and feeling good about herself. A bride is looking forward to the happiest time of her life. And the bride being a mannequin, a doll, shows me how, for some of you at least, Aries, there was an element of lack of freedom for you in your life with that particular situation, with that particular person. So that you couldn't truly act like yourself, you couldn't truly be yourself. You wanted to, and at times you felt like you were. And you're always waiting for the happiness to really break through and happen, and for all the good times to truly begin. And the good times were there, but they were very, very mixed up with things that were upsetting and painful. Lots of them have to do with lies. And you were stuck in this situation, and almost with an element of stubbornness. You were, you know, you're feeling lifeless. You're not even feeling like a real person anymore at times. You know, there's the skull, that's not a living face, that's just, you know, you're basically a shadow of your former self, but you're insisting on wearing that damn wedding dress and be beautiful and sit it out and insist that the happiness is going to happen with that person. And the answer is, it's absolutely not going to happen. Well, at least in this situation, with that person at this stage. I have to add at this point, Aries, that I'm not a psychic. I'm not claiming to be a psychic. I'm reading energies. I'm interpreting art. I am an intuitive reader. Okay, so what I'm doing here is supposed to be inspiration for those who may find this helpful. Okay, that's all it is. So please don't take this as I'm telling you to leave someone or something is over. This is not how this works. This is about energy, and energy can change. So go inside yourself, because this is where we come back to the present. Go inside, deep inside yourself, Aries, and see where right now at this moment you still have parts of those elements within you. The stubbornness, the insistence on a positive outcome in a certain situation where really you are stuck in a cage. And it's not because of yourself, really, it's because of the situation and because of that person. If they're not changing, if the situation does not change, the wedding is not going to happen. And you see how rigid she stands there, rigidly. So flexibility is absolutely life-saving. It is so important. Be flexible and allow yourself to how shall I say this? what is coming through here is allow yourself to unobsess over a certain outcome of that situation. Because what if a different situation is better? What if the truth lies there? What if you are actually not quite happy in that situation right now? Because a bride should feel alive. It's about celebrating life and love. It's about celebrating yourself as the radiant person that you are, and not being rigid and frozen and caught in a cage. Right? This is almost, there's more to it. You see that these laser beams here. We know, of course, what is going to happen, Aries. The moment you step forward, you want to break free. What happens, Aries, is that all hell breaks loose. This is a situation where you almost feel that you need to stand still in order for peace to be kept, to be maintained. This is not, if you break out into freedom and go into the sunlight, Aries, this is not going to go quietly and peacefully, or at least this is what you fear. Now the question is, does your freedom, is your freedom worth it to cause a bit of a fuss? Is your freedom worth it to break through a system that is, or to go through a process that is going to be perhaps dramatic, stressful, loud? You know, we can't sneak off out into the night here. You know, we have to do the brave thing. And the good thing is that, you know, once she steps out into the sunlight, I have the feeling this is almost a fairy tale moment right here, as if there's a curse on her. And in the moment she steps out into the sunlight, she is going to come back to life. Her arms are going to feel soft and warm again. Her body is flexible and warm and alive, and her face is going to be back. You know, there's the expression to save face, or to show your face. And there's something about that here. To save face. To say, this is not about you, Aries. There is someone who does not want you to step out of line, I feel. And it is that person that wants to save face. But in that process, you're losing your own face. I understand that this is quite morbid, but, you know, this is shadow work that we're doing here. And this is, you know, if we want to get to the light, we sometimes need to look at darker things. And besides, as I already said in the past, I think the artwork is stunning. So I don't mind that darkness at all, because it's going to lead us to the light, ultimately. Aries, if you hold still in this situation right now, a situation where you feel almost like a puppet, almost like not having your own free will anymore and being able to act like a truly free person anymore. What happens is that you're more dead than alive. And you are a bride though, Aries. You have every right to have hope and have love in your life, to have a free life where you celebrate the wedding with your true self, where you celebrate the potential wedding with a person that is not intimidated by your strength and by your freedom. If this is that old person, I can't tell. They would have to get a great deal stronger. They'll have to be willing to dive deep under their own superficiality, under their own surface. And you understand, Aries, you don't owe anyone anything. You owe yourself a life according to yourself, so where you know deep down what makes you happy, and then act upon it. Right? Who knows? Maybe there's an off switch for these laser beams. And what if the off switch is, I don't know. I mean, Maybe you don't even maybe you don't even need to move forward ahead. Maybe you literally can turn around and go to where the light is. Maybe it's brighter there because there's a window open or a door open, Aries, and that shows to me that the solution is already there. The solution is already there, and once you go out there, once you do it, yeah, you take your fate, your life back into your hands. And why did I say that this card is having so much positive energy? Yes, there's a lot of darkness coming from the recent past. Also not quite recent, a little bit further back still. But there is so much, it's almost as if you're insistent, Aries, that you want to have a happier life than now. And you are, I mean, there is confidence in that posture of that figure, right? She's standing straight with the head held up, and you're ready to do what it takes to be happy and to be free. If this is on your own or with someone else, I can't possibly say this, and I don't think it's that important, frankly, because you will see if people around you or the situation around you changes in a way that you can still be true to yourself and go outside into your freedom. Okay, that was a long part of the reading, but I felt it was necessary. So let's have a look at the quote. Sun Tzu said, "Thus, one who is skillful at keeping the enemy on the move maintains deceitful appearances, according to which the enemy will act. He sacrifices something that the enemy may snatch at it." Okay, and what does this mean? It says, Aries, get to the root of the problem. If someone is unaccountably angry with you, think about why that may be. They might be maintaining deceitful appearances. There we have a connection to this here. Things are superficial and not the way they seem. And are angry about something that has nothing to do with you. Gently try and find out what it is, and they may well grab the chance. Your reward and theirs will be getting to the root of the problem so it can be sorted out. Okay, so Aries, at this point there is no doubt anymore about it that we're dealing here with another person, with a romantic partner. Now, if this is as a person with anger issues, please be very, very careful. Don't necessarily confront them. Gauge whether you should maybe just leave calmly or confide in someone first. But if you feel you can actually talk to this person and they're facing their anger issues, they get therapy, they get anger management, whatever may help them, right? If you still want to work on things with this person, they have to show up. They have to be willing to go underneath the surface and go deep. No matter what happens, please be safe, Aries. Don't provoke things that shouldn't be provoked, right? Focus on yourself, and chances are that that person may feel you withdrawing your energy, your focus from them and bring it back to you. And that is, of course, incredibly healthy. So, in the present, this is your job, Aries. Get to the root of the problem. What is the problem here? Is the problem the anger issues of the other person? Is the problem your repressed anger, perhaps? Is the problem that you see exactly what should change and they're not willing to look under the surface and they're not willing to work with you? No matter what it is, Aries, don't wait so long for things to change that you're just standing stoically here in one spot and not moving and feeling more dead than alive, and whereas you could break the curse and feel alive again and move forward to the most beautiful day of your life. Okay, and the future. I actually thought that would be a shorter reading, Aries, but I don't feel it's good to skip things if the energies are there and the messages want to come through. Okay, and now I understand why this card gave me such wonderful energy. This card Let me see if it's focusing. Right. Is this focusing? It says Queen of My World. Right, I think you can see enough right now. Okay, so there we go. There's the focus. Aries, this is beautiful. First of all, this beautiful woman is wearing a red dress. Red is, of course, your color, Aries. Color of fire, of blood, of passion. And Aries, she's holding a lance, a spear, and there's a wind blowing. And this card means confidence. This card means I know who I am. I'm going to fight for my happiness. I am moving forward. She's moving forward into the future. Look how she is looking towards the future. The card of the past is here. Right, the present is here. They're both looking ahead, for, like in front of themselves. And this card is looking into the future. So this is a person completely in charge of her own fate. She is completely the master or mistress, whatever you want to call it, of her own energies, of her inner power, of her strength. This is absolutely wonderful. It is as if here in this card, she is accumulating the rest of the energy that is still in her. And what if that skull is only a mask and she can take it off and the real self is behind her? Sometimes people do it the other way around, don't they, Aries? They seem to be living human beings and inside they're kind of dead. And I think here it's the other way around. If you take off the mask of the grey mask, it doesn't even suit you, it doesn't even fit you, Aries. You're much too alive and vibrant for this. If she's taking off the mask, this will be revealed. You have it in your own power to bring yourself back to life. And you know what is absolutely wonderful? There's an element of sensuality here and of passion here. This is very much about sex as well. So here, you know how the white wedding dress stands, of course, for innocence and purity. It could stand also in this particular connection for a certain naivety or an innocence and purity of the heart that trusted a person that did not deserve that trust. And the red dress here, that's her. She has taken off the white wedding dress, and she thinks this is a better fit for me. The red wedding dress. This has nothing to do with the red wedding of Game of Thrones or something like this. This is just this is just beautiful. This is just a red, gorgeous, fiery, passionate red wedding dress, and it means basically the times of innocence, of naivety are over. It doesn't mean that the times of purity are over, because whenever we are authentic and living according to ourselves, that's when we are at our purest. And that goes for passion, that goes for our erotic energy and all of that. It can be the purest thing if we live it and experience it in a way that is true to ourselves. So how amazing is a wedding dress in red? How amazing. So this is, red is the color of life as well, isn't it? Blood means life. I almost said, for the blood is the life, it's like little vampire reference here. But why the hell not, right? This is such a passionate card. She's in control of her future, and no one has done that for her. She has done that herself. Okay, beautiful. And this is really taking quite a lot of energy, Aries, that reading. I'm not complaining, but this is really intense. And the quote from The Art of War says, "To see victory only when it is within the ken of the common herd is not the acme of excellence." Okay, so we're dealing with a real queen here, right? And here it says, "Use fire with care and water with impunity. Fire, like anger, is powerful but unpredictable and can cause lasting damage among the vanquished. Water, which shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows, soothes the argument and slowly, without destroying your opponent, turns them towards your point of view. While fire can deliver victory, water delivers increased strength. Okay, so this tells you, Aries, that you can be that powerful, strong person in future, but don't repress any of your feelings, but see that you balance them and use them wisely. If you allow for your anger and your temper to get the better of you, you're not going to move forward so wholesomely and healthily as you could. Okay, so it's not about burning everything to the ground. It's about balancing out the elements and moving forward and create your own new life. Okay, fantastic. Aries, oh my goodness. So, and now we have our fairy tale card. I always use one image from a scene of a fairy tale, because I think fairy tales have so much wisdom and so much depth. And as I already said, Aries, this card shows a scene from the fairy tale, The White Doe. And we see the prince here. How I'm not going to. It's not one of the fairy tales that are very well known. It's a bit like, it's very similar to Sleeping Beauty, but there are other elements as well, and envy and deceit and all that. And so there's this curse of the princess that, not like in Sleeping Beauty, is sleeping for 100 years. But she is, until she's 15 years old, she needs to she needs to stay away from sunshine, which is an interesting and quite a terrible idea, really, but an interesting twist of the fairy tale. And in the moment she steps out in the light, she turns into a white doe. And the prince, who is in love with her picture of her as a real human being, does not know that this curse is on her, of course. So you see here, he has bow and arrows, so he's hunting. So he thinks he thinks basically she is his prey. And the lady in waiting of the court, she knows about the curse, and she knows the princess, and she's protecting her. You see how the arrows of the prince are not hurting the doe. In the story, in the fairy tale, the doe is getting hurt but survives, and the curse is lifted. So Aries, what this shows me is that I almost said something and I thought maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because it came so spontaneously. Whoever hurt you in the past may not have done so on purpose or malevolence, or with malevolence, but it hurt anyway. And you have the right to step out into the light without it feeling like a curse, without feeling as if you're imprisoned. And how interesting is this? We have the white wedding dress here, and we have the white doe. She's stuck behind bars. She's stuck in the curse. Neither of them can escape. And what helps them break the curse? It is, well, with regard to this, we've already talked about this. With regard to the fairy tale, it is about the truth coming to light. The truth about her real identity, and the prince learns about it, and they get together, and they're well, you know, as the cliche goes, they live happily ever after, but only after him learning about the truth is dissolving the curse. So truthfulness is a tool of power here, of healing, knowing who we really are. And I ask yourself, Aries, who are you in this card? Are you the protective lady in waiting? Are you the white doe, the princess that needs to be redeemed? And that, you know, gets to enjoy the sunlight again as a human being, as a real person? Are you the prince who is confused, who doesn't really see where the truth lies? And you know, of course, how could he possibly? But you know, once he learns about it, he's taking all the right steps. But I feel that for many of you, it would be that you are actually the white doe, or you may be all of them. Like Oscar Wilde said, it can be the case that a writer is not one character in his books, but it may be that he's all of them. The writer of a book is that the characters of the in a novel or short story of a writer are all aspects of his or her personality. And so the white doe, the curse is still on her, but we know how the story ends. It ends well. Everyone is healed. The curse is broken. The prince who wanted to die for love because he thought he couldn't have her, he is living, and they're getting married. Yes, of course, Aries, that could mean literally that you're going to get married. I mean, well, here's the wedding dress, and here's the happy outcome with the two of them getting married. Aries, if you're not going to get married, first of all, of course, this is not the end of the world. Maybe you don't even want to get married. Or maybe this does not even mean that you're going to find your person. But you see, the way I see it is like this. That, yes, maybe you find your person, okay? If you should not find your person in the near future, I already mentioned this here when I started talking about the present, and this card showed up. Aries, be married to yourself. It means give yourself hope. Do what you need to do to feel happy. Promise yourself to be faithful to yourself. To never to hold and guard yourself. To cherish and value yourself. That's what I mean by this. But do so in a red wedding dress, fiercely and according to your true nature. No more death masks for you, Aries. Once you go deep and you feel deep within yourself who you really are, the curse can be broken. The lies and the superficiality will be over. And you are the queen of your own fate. Aries, as I already said, this was a much longer reading than I thought it would be, but the energies wanted out. The messages wanted to come through. Aries, you have so much strength in you, and it's going to. You may not feel it right now, but all your strength and your power and your passion, it's still there, and you're going to. If you're getting married with your true self, basically, you're going to have a fantastic future, being true to yourself and living freely and just, you know, having the power to create your own happiness. Right, wonderful. Aries, thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. It's much appreciated. I love doing these readings, and I find them very inspiring. I certainly hope that they gave some inspiration to you. Be safe, be well. And Aries, as you can see, this is a new channel. Like and subscribe. If something resonates with you, comment about it, leave a comment. I would be very curious to learn if any of this has resonated with you. Aries, take good care of yourself, and I see you around soon. Bye for now.